Hello my loyal companions, welcome back to the channel and to the 3000 subscriber special, which as we said would be a Q&A from not only Rogue Company questions that you have, but also personal questions that you have if you want to get to know me a little bit more. I just want to give a massive thank you to all of you guys who are here helping to support this channel, helping to support my Twitch, my Twitter, my Discord, and just everything. Your interaction, the community we built here, and the Rogue Company community generally is just incredible. I never really thought I'd be in this position, especially when how I sort of thought this would all get started, and you'll get to know that a little bit more when we answer some of these questions. But I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you guys. It really means the world to me, and I appreciate you guys so much more than I think you probably know. And just remember guys, if you're looking for daily educational Rogue Company content or just general entertaining content throughout, this is the channel you want to be subscribed to, so make sure you hit that like button, you hit the subscribe button, and let's get into it. So as I said guys, I got some Rogue Company questions that you guys wanted me to answer. I've got some personal questions you wanted me to answer. And I'll start with the Rogue Company stuff because I think that's what a lot of you are here for. And I wanted to bring that to you. And if you're interested in the personal stuff, that'll come a little bit later on. This first question is going to come from Shoki over on Discord. And he asks, who was the first Rogue you mained? Now, a lot of you guys know I don't really recommend you main a Rogue. I think playing one Rogue for a certain amount of time only is okay. But when it gets to the wider scale of the game, maining a Rogue is probably not the best idea. And that's the same my sort of philosophy here, and I've had it throughout the entire time. However, the first Rogue I say I really played, other than Ronin for the tutorial and like my first 2 or 3 games, was actually Shuck. He was the first Rogue I really put some time into. Some of my first clips were with him, some of my first gameplays were with him, and I really did enjoy him. I still enjoy him to this day because I think his gun is so easy to use. I think the overheal is so forgiving. But he was the first Rogue I really would say I played. And yeah, I thought that was quite an interesting question because he is a Rogue you have to purchase, but I bought the Founders Pack that gave me all the Rogues back, all the way back in closed beta. And so I was able to access him really early, and I just really enjoyed him. I think he's a really good Rogue, and I would recommend you guys pick him up. But if you actually want to know what Rogues to pick up, go and check out my video where I talk about what Rogues to buy next based off your different play styles and the difficulty of those Rogues. I have a whole video explaining it, so you should definitely go check that out if you're interested. The next question comes from Green Boy over on Discord as well, and he asks, what inspired you to invest so much time into Rogue Company? And I think this is sort of a wider question as well about why did I make content. I'll get into the content side of it, but specifically Rogue Company, why did I latch onto Rogue Company? Honestly, the way I found out about Rogue Company was just an ad on a different video. I was watching a video on YouTube, and this Rogue Company ad popped up. It was the one where you see Dima and Ronin fighting, and then I think Ronin said something like, "Come on, Dallas." And then just something about all that really good, gave me sort of a good vibe. I thought, you know what, I'll try this game out. I actually, because when I got the game, it was in closed beta, so you had to pay to get it or get a key. I didn't get a key, so I actually paid for it. I paid 25 bucks to get the Founders Edition for all the Rogues, because I just had a feeling in my gut that I really wanted to potentially just like make a video on this. I just started YouTube. I'd been making some Warzone content because I'd played a lot of Call of Duty Warzone, and I just latched onto this and was like, I want to like make a video. I want to make like my reaction video, and you know what, maybe it'll do well, maybe it won't. We'll see. And then, you know, 6-7 months later, here we are, posting daily over here on Rogue Company content. And what's kept me going is, and I've been asked like by Scott Gandy and other people this, is the fact that it never gets boring. I've never been bored playing Rogue Company. I never felt like I've forced myself to play Rogue Company. Every game I find fairly enjoyable, even the ones that suck, are fairly enjoyable because I love the core mechanics of the game. It filled a really big void for me that other games didn't have. So Warzone had a lot of issues with bugs and hackers at that time. It was just as they went into Season 4, I think, where they blew up Stadium. And Rogue Company just filled a niche that I really, really liked. I love the gunplay of it. I love that the gunplay isn't like super hard, but can be really, really good if you are good with it. I love the gadgets, I love the perks. I love how each Rogue is unique and how every time you play it can be a different experience. And that's what's really kept me going with Rogue Company. That and obviously making content, coming up with new ideas, being creative really helps as well. Means I don't get fatigued very easily. And having a community there to, you know, help support me and enjoy what I do and bounce off of is really great as well. So that's the reason I'm probably still playing Rogue Company. I've invested so much time into it. I think I'm on like 44 days played. But in terms of my hours spent thinking about Rogue Company, playing Rogue Company, watching Rogue Company, or whatever it be, it's a long time. But again, even to this day, I still enjoy it like so much. And again, part of that is thanks to you guys. Cyan over on Discord asked, what was my least favorite and my favorite Rogue? Now, this has obviously changed over time. My least favorite is almost always going to be Anvil. I think a lot of you guys know this. And it's not because Anvil is bad. If you watch my most recent tier list, I placed him in an A tier. And I stick by that. In my tier list, I'm never biased. Or at least I try not to be biased. Because I like to look at the meta as a whole, look what's being played, and look what's strong. and make a sort of a informed decision based off that to give you guys the best information possible, not just my personal opinion. But for me, Anvil I find not enjoyable to play. I do not like the LMG playstyle. I think the shotgun is fun. I don't like just the shield defender. He feels really slow, feels really clunky, and the weapon just isn't my style. I don't like spray and pray. I like to be accurate. I like to use DMRs. I like to use SMGs and get up in people's faces. And the mod just doesn't do that for me. And that's why I stay away from Anvil. He's a big meme on the channel. One of my emotes on Twitch is a crying Anvil face because I just don't like Anvil. You know, I just don't vibe with him. As for my favorite rogue, this one really does develop. Honestly, at the moment, I may be leaning back towards Lancer. I just love playing it, especially in demo and ranked and in comp. Finding the right positions to outplay the enemies and pick the right timing, pick the right moment, and then just have the pure 1v1 skill to kill people. It's absolutely incredible. Like the gameplay you're probably watching in the background here. I absolutely love that. I think it's incredible. And that's what's really drawing me to Lance at the moment. Ronin is always a favorite pick of mine. Dahlia for the same sort of reason, but Dahlia is falling out of favor with me a little bit because the MXR, I'm not enjoying that as much. And then Vi, of course, is a really big staple for me as well. I was playing Vi before Vi was meta. Vi is obviously incredible meta to the point where she's getting nerfed, but nothing's changed with Vi really in a long time other than a small like Nightshade buff. And so I was playing Vi for a really long time before she was even like good in people's eyes. And so I claim to really stick by Vi as well in sort of that top list. Over on Twitter, Brushstrick asks, do you think we will get a PvE mode against Jackal or see some characters from Jackal appear in the playable characters? So for those of you who don't understand, the lore behind Rogue Company is they are there and designed to fight off an evil faction of people in the world known as Jackal. They're the counterpart to Rogue Company. Rogue Company is the group of characters we have now. They are this sort of alliance, and they go against Jackal. And then you might see some references to Jackal throughout the game, whether it be a skin or whether it be a banner that they put out with the year pass. But there's different stuff that allude to Jackal, and in the lore and in Kestrel's reveal, for example, they speak about Jackal. And there's also been speculation about PvE mode. So this is where I think these two questions come in. I would love to see some sort of Horde mode PvE against Jackal type characters. I don't necessarily personally think Jackal rogues will become a thing in Rogue Company, like Rainbow Six Siege, where you have your attacking rogues and your attacking characters and your defending characters. I don't see that being a like Jackal side and a Rogue Company side. And I don't really see Jackal rogues being put into Rogue Company because it's Rogue Company, right? The game is called Rogue Company. The rogues are in the Rogue Company. They're not in Jackal. And to really match it up, you probably have to have a 50-50 division, which means you have to put in like another 17 rogues that are purely Jackal right now. And that doesn't really make sense to me. So I don't think we'll see Jackal rogues, but I think we'll see some sort of PvE mode with them in. I think that would make sense. Some sort of Horde mode, some sort of, I don't even know what it could be. Like, I don't know. It's really just speculation at this point. I'd be interested to know what you guys think. What do you think would be a cool PvE mode? But yeah, some sort of, but the PvE means player versus entity, so like AI, that sort of stuff, like bots. But some sort of Horde mode would be cool, fending off Jackals. Then maybe they have this big Jackal character that comes in as like a boss. That would be kind of cool. Sort of like a zombies, I guess, is the best way to describe it. But they shoot back and they're cool. I could kind of see something like that happening. I would be interested in that happening as well. So yeah, I think that could be cool. I think we definitely need more expansion on the lore within Rogue Company, and Jackal was a massive part of that. So I'm interested to see how that develops. Over on Discord, Miserable asks, do you think any patches or changes should be made to any of the rogues or just Rogue Company in general? And I mean, of course, this is a massive yes. Rogue Company needs to continue to grow, needs to continue to innovate, create new rogues, fix rogues who aren't in a great spot, and just continue to adapt in that way. And I would, if that ever stopped, that's when a game dies. Take League of Legends, for example. I played League of Legends for a really long time. That game, even to this day, completely reinvents the way the game is played constantly. They just overhauled their entire item shop system for a brand new one. And that's the kind of stuff that eventually these games need to do when they're so old. Obviously, Rogue Company is new, so it's just still trying to find its feet. But yeah, definitely. I think new patches, new stuff. I think Scorch needs a bit of a change. I think the Arbitrator is too strong at the moment. I don't think Vixen needs a change, honestly. Maybe a little nerf in his duration of his ability. But there's definitely things that need to be worked on. Overall, I think the game has done a pretty good job, up until maybe kind of recently, at keeping things relatively balanced. And that is some things games really struggle to do. But at the moment, I think the game is in a mess state, but previously to sort of the past few patches, it's been in a really good state. They've done a really good job balancing. You can kind of go with whatever comp you want and execute any sort of strategy. Even though some are best and there is a meta, it doesn't mean that sort of different things are incapable of using. For example, we actually run Talon and Glitch on our factory plays now, which no other team does. And although those rogues like Glitch are really not that viable in terms of tier list and meta, we have still found an avenue where they can make sense. And we also run Glitch on High Castle Attack as well for the same sort of reasons. So you can really innovate however you want, and that is another reason why I love Rogue Company so much, because it just drives such like creativity in terms of the plays and comp you can design. And then the last sort of Rogue Company question that I have here is honestly one that I think is asked a lot. And this one comes from Arsh over on my Discord. He says, do you think Rogue Company will grow big? Do I think the game will become a big game like Fortnite? And this is a really difficult question. If you had asked me right at the start of the game's life cycle, I would have given you a firm yes, because there's so much to the game that is so good, right? I think that's why we're all still here playing it. I think there's so much that is worth playing and worth watching and worth exploring. There's an esports scene that could grow so well, and there's so much to the game. I think the game is really young still, and so it's actually, just being in the scene for a while, kind of hard to see it grow when I know there's a lot of issues that are surrounding it. I know there's a lot of stigma surrounding high-res as well, in terms of them not being able to execute well-polished games. And I'm afraid that some updates have sort of supported that, some updates completely not. I don't see Rogue Company going down the Realm Royale route of just being dropped and being a failure. I'd see Rogue as being a good staple game that has a really loyal fan base. I do think it has a good potential to grow if things are done right. Me and Octane obviously speak on the podcast about that sort of last week, and it definitely has potential, and I would hate to see it just bottleneck because people are being too harsh on it. People are not allowing the bugs. People are just being too over analytical on this game because it's a high res game or whatever reason, and not give the game a chance to breathe, really. There's going to be some issues here and there. Yes, EU servers suck. Sometimes NA servers suck. But, you know, we'll battle through. The game is still enjoyable, and as long as you enjoy the core elements of the game, you can stay loyal to it, and I think it will drive an audience eventually. I just don't see that happening immediately. I don't know when it will happen, but I think it has a potential to grow big. Not a guarantee. Now we'll get into some of the more personal questions about me, Radthar, and I'll start with the basics, because I've got some questions that are always asked of me, so I'll sort of run through those off the top of my head that I know get asked. The first one is my name. My actual name is Jordan, so you can call me Jordan. Call me Rad, it's way easier. I'm 22 years old. I'm from England. I've dotted around sort of a lot of England, so I can't really tell you exactly like where I'm from. I was born in Essex, if that helps you. But in terms of a little bit about my backstory, before I got into YouTube and content creation, I'll explain why I'm one of these questions. But before I got into that, I was actually at university. I studied law. I have a law degree. I was a paralegal for a while, and more significantly into my life, I was a teacher, or technically not a teacher. I was a tutor. So I worked for a company who children from the age of 4 to 14 would come into. They would come into this center. They would have their own computer program there available to them that they would have questions that would generate based off all of the time that they'd spent there. So some kids have been there for years, and they'd built a whole program based off of that child. It was really tailor-made. It was really, really good. And it was really great education. They would sit there for an hour. They would do some maths, some English, and I was there to watch over 6 children at a time and help them whenever they needed it, to build the sort of rapport, build those relationships, and keep them interested in learning. It was basically a fun version of learning whilst also teaching them things. And I think that translated very well to Rogue Company and to content creation and the educational stuff that I do. But I loved that job. I absolutely loved it. And when coronavirus hit, it moved to an online platform, and my love for the job did fade at that point, which is really sad because I absolutely loved it. It was good at it as well. I was looking to become a manager in that job. I was looking to build up and create a real career there. And then COVID hit, and I definitely had the opportunity to still stay there and still continue, but I chose not to. I chose to take my life in a different direction, and that eventually led me to content creation. And that's kind of where we're at now. And I'll get into some of the questions that you guys have asked that want to know a little bit more about content, a little bit more about me personally, and we'll see what you guys like. So the first one is going to come from Insane Shane from Discord, and he asks, how did you get the name Radthar? This is really not a fun story, but I'll give it to you guys so you know. Essentially, when I was about 11, I played a game called Evony, which was a browser game similar to Clash of Clans, but a more like realistic version, I guess, of it, like medieval version. And I wanted a cool medieval name, and literally out of nowhere, for no reason, I came up with Radthar. And then I didn't really use that for much of my gamer handles going forward until I was at 16. And then I used it when I started playing League of Legends. That was my main gamer handle, but I still had a different one that I'd used for most of my life up until I started content. And I was like, you know what? I'd moved some of my gaming profiles to Radthar at that point, and I decided that my content would be based around Radthar. I think it's a nice, easy, simple name to remember. It's kind of cool. It fits the night theme that I like to have on, and most importantly, it can be shortened to Rad. really easily, and you guys have come up with some great nicknames over on Twitch for other things to call me to do with Rad. So you know what? Fair, it worked. Pace over on Discord asks, what games did you play most as a kid? So when I was younger, I would say the games I played most. Okay, it depends on the time scale you want to. I guess secondary school, which for Americans is like 11 to 16, was mostly Call of Duty and stuff like that. Before that, I played like lots of weird games on the original Xbox. I played a lot of Halo, actually. A lot of Halo. I played Minecraft for a really big period of my life, which, as I'm sure many people did. I played a game called Time Splitter for a really long time. And I just basically played sort of a lot of things. I was never really into the sports games like Madden and FIFA and those sort of things. Never really got into those. So it was more the shooters, the FPSs and things like that. That eventually led into League of Legends for a really long time, and that game was quite toxic to my life because I spent a lot of time playing it when I should have been working on my lot of sort of tests and stuff for school. And then I didn't game for a period of time, honestly. There was probably about 2 years when I started uni that I didn't really game ever. And then I eventually broke that, started playing Warzone, got my Xbox back, started playing Call of Duty again, started playing Warzone, then that eventually led into Rogue Company. That's the best sort of summary of that. I was sort of a shooter player for a really long time, got into Warzone, got heavily into Warzone, then got into Rogue Company, and again, I'm here now. So you know exactly how that went. But yeah, that's sort of my gaming history, I would say, in real brief. I obviously was into like Mario games and things like that. I used to play that on my DS and the bus and stuff. But I can't think of any other standout games that really like blew my mind in terms of things I played all the time. So they're sort of the main core ones, I would say. Halo Reach is up there with my favorite games. Oh, actually, no, before I got into Warzone and Call of Duty, I was playing single player games on my Xbox when I got it. And that was things like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I loved. I thought it was an amazing game. The Just Cause series I played to death. What else did we play? What else did I play? I played a really good game. I can't remember what it was. Oh, The Witcher. Can't forget The Witcher. The Witcher is probably my favorite gaming franchise of all time. All of them, from the PC versions straight through to The Witcher 3, I loved. I think they're amazing games. I'd recommend you play them. They're such great storytelling, and it's from the same creators who did Cyberpunk, which is CD Projekt Red, and which is why I was so happy about Cyberpunk, or was so excited for it, and then let down so hard with what eventually it became. But The Witcher was a massive series for me, and I absolutely loved the storytelling of it. I even have the wolf pendant that comes with The Witcher somewhere up in my room, because I just love that series so much. Okay, looking back at Discord, King asks, what was your goal when you first started YouTube? So this is sort of going to content creation and what made me become a content creator. So what originally sparked it was me leaving that job as a tutor and deciding that I wanted to start a business. And my business was going to be a bit of like a spin-off from my dad's business, which was selling games. So selling physical copies of PlayStation games and Xbox games. My dad knew the market. My dad knew how to do it, and he taught me how to do it. I started making up my own sort of business from that, using eBay and other selling sites to start like promoting that. But what I wanted to do as a little spin-off was I wanted to promote my shop and promote the games I was selling on different social media platforms such as YouTube and Twitch. Stream the games that I was selling and be, hey, by the way, you can buy this game from here. Or on YouTube, promote it. Again, you can sell this game, you can buy this game from here. And that was originally my plan, basically like sponsor my own videos from my own business. And that was originally the plan. So I was going to do, and I don't really know where that spun off to. I think I was just testing it out. And I thought, I'll start making some like Warzone videos. I play a lot of Warzone. It could be fun. So I posted a Warzone video. It was called How to Land at Downtown. Downtown was the place I landed all the time. And I wanted to do like an educational series on that. Honestly, after like a few videos and a few streams, my business went out of my mind 100%, completely. I just didn't care about selling games at that point. I didn't care about packaging games or selling them off to people. I just wanted to make content. I fell in love with it instantly. And I guess that just led to, honestly, where we are now is I found Rogue Company like a few weeks into that. I put my first Rogue Company video out. I started putting one out pretty regularly. I started putting one out every day, and I'm like 130 or 150 days into daily content at this point, where you've got a video from me up on this channel every single day to do with Rogue Company. And I think that's really what sparked it. Is I wanted to use it as to promote my business, and I fell in love with the content creation side of things. I actually fell in love with editing, which I didn't think is the bit I'd enjoy. The community aspect of it was really fun, and as I just said, here we are. This is literally where that's all come to. So yeah, it was. I'm glad it kind of turned out this way, because I'm very happy at the moment with everything that's gone on. Hitting 3K subs. Twitch is doing amazing. Everything's doing amazing. The community I built here and the friendships I made here are just incredible. So yeah, I don't think I would have done that sat in my room packaging games. Although probably, you know, could have driven that business aspect pretty well, because did get to a really good point. By the time I started this, it had like a good trajectory. It was looking really well. But I just pivoted on a feeling, on a want, and again, that's why we're here with YouTube. Okay, and the last question, and one I'm going to expand on quite a bit. It actually comes from Dre over on Discord as well, and he asked, "What would you ever become interested in becoming a caster in LAN events if they end up happening?" And I'm going to kind of use this as a way of explaining what I want to do with what I've built so far, because this could be quite interesting for you guys. So obviously, I want to keep making content. I want to keep making daily content. I want to stick to my stream schedule 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday, on twitch.tv/RADTHARGAMING at 1 p.m. Eastern for a couple hours. I love what I've built with all my content, and I want to continue to grow it. I want to go up to 10,000 subscribers, 20,000, 50, 100, a million subscribers. I want to keep going there and building with Rogue, and hope Rogue goes big enough that I can really accelerate it. Eventually, do I think Rogue Company will die? Maybe. You know, I'm not unrealistic to that. At some point, all games die, whether that's sooner or later, we don't know for Rogue Company. And maybe I'll pivot games then, and maybe, you know, the channel will tank, and maybe it won't pick off as well at the start. But I think I can translate what I built here to other games as well, should that time ever arise. I just don't see that for a couple of years, for sure. I love Rogue Company too much. I just don't want it to die. As a Rogue partner now, I'm very, very invested in this game, and I want to continue to see it grow. But also, sort of going to that, what else do I want to do? Because content's great, and I love making content. I'll continue making content, but I want to do more as well. And a lot of you know I've been getting into casting the past few months, looking for opportunities to cast where I can, and being involved in the competitive scene that way is a really, really big part of what I love about Rogue Company. So I would absolutely love being a LAN caster, casting for LAN events, casting for actual events, casting for the big Rogue Company tournaments. That is where I want to see myself eventually. And then when you see me up there on the big stage, like, wow, this guy knows a lot. Let's go to his YouTube channel. Let's check out how he's helping us improve as well to be as good as some of these people. And that is exactly what I want. I want to continue to be a top player. I want to continue to be getting rogue rank. I want to continue doing well in competitive scene and all of that. That's exactly what I want to do here with this game. And in the same vein of helping you guys improve at Rogue Company, I do want to get into coaching, like actual coaching for teams and actual coaching for individual players who want to get better. Again, that's probably something that's going to come into place around March. I've said it once or twice before, but that's going to be something I'm looking at doing to help you guys improve with a more sort of tailor-made approach, going through your VODs, giving you specific criteria to help you, and bringing in, again, more of my teaching and history to help you guys improve in a more personalized way is exactly what I think would be good, and another avenue I want to go down with Rogue Company. So we've got the content, we've got the casting, and we've got the coaching. It's all going to be there. All things beginning with C. I just realized to place that in my head. Casting, coaching, content. Happy. That's the goal. I think that's pretty good. Do I ever want a job at high res? That'd be cool. I'd look into that for sure. Maybe some sort of community manager role. I'm not sure, but something along those lines could be really interesting. But at the moment, that is sort of my goal for the future. So yes, Dre, to your question, absolutely want to be a LAN caster. I think my casting is pretty good. I listen to other casters and I think, you know, I wish I could add a bit more energy into there. I wish I could get involved and really bounce off them. And I absolutely love it as well, which is a great positive for all of this as well. So that's definitely where I see my future with Rogue Company. Personally, content, casting, coaching. That's what you can look to expect to see going forward. Slight alteration. One more question is actually Rogue Company specific that I just saw that I think will actually be really good. Comes from Luke over on Discord. He says, how do you manage dealing with a very unorganized, to put it nicely, team when solo queuing ranked? Other than just pick Ronan, which I admit has helped since I've started solo queuing with her, but a team that is organized will still win against her. And in the nicest way, you can't. If your team is unorganized and the enemy team is organized, no matter what rogue you play, you're going to suffer. There are certain rogues which help minimize this. I think Ronan is one. I think Talon is one. But the thing you can do best is try and communicate in some way, whether that be ping, whether that be using your talent art to show them exactly where they are, whether that be actually get on game comms and talk to them, or whether it just be moving with them and organizing yourself around them. You know, solo queue players will just do what they want. And if you just go with one of them or the group of them and do kind of what they're doing, you're probably more likely to succeed than not, because at least there's multiple numbers there that you can help fight off. Because you also got to try and imagine the enemy team are probably somewhat disorganized as well, unless they're 4-stacking, and even then. So you playing with your teammates, even if they're good or not, is probably more beneficial than not. And I play something like a Lancer and you can get a really early pick, but that's another thing. Get an early pick. In solo queue, if you get an early pick, you give yourself numbers advantage. You don't put your team at as much of a deficit. and you can just sort of, you feel a bit more comfortable. And that is something I recommend as well. Get a pre-nade off, learn pre-nades, get a C4 pick, play Lancer and get up to someone's face and kill them quickly and then roll away and survive. Anything you can do like that will be really beneficial for you. So I hope that helps. Again, I'll talk about that more when I start my solo queue journey very, very, very soon. Actually leveling up the account tomorrow on stream, on Sunday's stream. So yeah, actually that'll be today. If you're watching this, it's today. So yeah, definitely go check that out. So before I sign off for the night, I just want to show you one little girl who's been very, very important to me during this time. This is Ari. She's my little bunny bun. You would have seen her from the stream if you've been around the stream. She's very, very sweet. She is real. She's just very docile, and she does like to be cradled. So she tends to like fall asleep in my arms sometimes. But I want to show you her for the YouTube audience. You don't get to see her. But yeah, no, she's a little light of my life here. Little missus. Very, very cute. Okay then guys, that takes us to the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. Here's the 4,000 subscribers coming up soon. I'm very much looking forward to it. And again, thank you for all the support. If you haven't already, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you come follow me on twitch.tv/RADTHARGAMING. That's where I do live gameplay commentaries and play with viewers all the time. So make sure you get involved there, as well as my Twitter and Discord. All the links you need for all of that are going to be down in the description below. For now guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. And remember, be loyal, be brave, be relentless, and I'll catch you in the next video.